Having met Salty Lass 2 weeks earlier in Liverpool, we had a fantastic evening. Spent most of the night having a few drinks and then talking about our passage plan, which they were most helpful. Thanks, Beverly and Gaynor, most helpful. And I look forward to seeing you soon. They were actually over in Carrickfergus. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to them, but it would have been great to see them while we were there. But big thanks to them. Good luck in your travels. 0707. Very quiet in the marina, very calm, but we know that's not what we're going to find out there. But we're leaving now, and hopefully it'll be a rough but reasonable practice, eh? No, you're alright. No. The calmness of a marina, the false security. You think, oh, this is lovely. Great day to go sailing. Light breeze. And then when we get round the corner, I think we'll find it a bit different. Bye bye, Bangor. Thank you. Have you been on the radio to let the marina know?
No, we'll get out there. So put it on safe track so you can move up in it if you want.
Yeah.
But we've got safe tracks running, Roy.
Okay.
Boy, now.
Yeah.
Boy, there, look, it's a fucking rib.
A dead person, is it? Bye bye, Bangor.
Bye, Bangor.
Yeah, bye Bangor. Yeah, Bangor's been good to us.
It's been very good to us.
Definitely drifting.
I can't see it.
You
Where
see
is
it now
it?
on the horizon. She's just.
I can see something like, yeah.
Yes.
Is it moving, is it?
It is moving, yeah. I've just clocked it from the other side of the cardinal. All the way through.
There's our Cardinal buoy as we head down through the gap between the edge of Ireland. Boat at anchor, the wind's picking up, we can feel the wind now. Sea state is relatively smooth at the moment, not too bad, but it will get worse and the wind will pick up. We've gone from 7 knots to 13, steady 11 at the moment. We're doing 9.8 depth and 4.9 over the ground at the moment, so not too bad. Winding our way now through the exits of Bangor Marina. There's 2 big breakwaters which obviously keep all the boats safe, and we were grateful for, because there were some very strong winds while we were there, and the boats were, well, the tops of the masts were literally getting hammered. There were, in some cases, 27 knots of wind, and in other cases up to 35 knots. But because we're so low down behind the breakwaters, it was very secure, very safe, and very calm. And as I say, you know, we were hoping that the weather would be like that all the time, but unfortunately we were locked in. But what a place to be locked in. Bangor Marina is excellent, well worth a visit, and the staff there were great. Toilet facilities, all the facilities there are excellent, and the local shops and pubs equally good. We had a great breakfast before we set off. But yeah, we know this journey is going to be a lumpy one. It's forecast getting up to 25, 26 knots, and there's still a big swell from the past 2 days where we've had very strong winds. In fact, there was force 8 in the middle of the Irish Sea, so you know, we expect to encounter some difficulties, but hopefully we'll be okay. Because we got wind, sails are going up straight away, and we should be on our way under sail. We're keeping the reef in because, as I say, it's expected to be quite blowy for until about 2 o'clock. So until then, we'll keep a reef in, keep safe, and go for it, really. that's the best we can do. It starts to calm down after 2 o'clock, or that's the forecast anyway, and that's what we're hoping for. Yeah. Sails up now, sailing quite happily. We're doing 5.7 knots, 5.8 knots, getting up. We've got a wind speed of 18 knots. Sailing now, under full sail. Well, we're fully reefed. We're fully reefed there, and you can see we're doing wind speed of 16 knots. It's gusting 20-21. Our speed over ground is 5.6 at the moment, 5.7, and we've got a depth of 12.6 meters. We're headed down the coast towards Stankford Lock, and then once we reach there, all being well, we'll make a hit across to Port Erin over that way, and we should be okay.
And actually, it's less resistance as well, so yes. Yeah, I've got the screen down. I prefer it down, to be honest with you. Yeah.
As we get further away from Ireland and more into the centre of the channel, the wind force increases and the wave height increases. This is the choppy ride we expected.
24 knots now.
24 knots, yes. That one is the body. What's our speed now?
Some heeling now. Heeling over. 6 knots, 6.5. 14 knots now. It's now coming up to 11 o'clock. It's calming down. Sea state. Oh, it's swell, but it's fairly calm. Not rough at all.
No, it's not rough.
And yeah, wind's easing. Weather's looking slightly better ahead of us, so we should be all right. All being well, we've crossed the worst of it. Fair old swell now. Crashed down a couple of waves there. There's another one.
They're getting up to a metre and a half now, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? 1.5 metre that.
I was going to say a metre before we
I did say.
There's another big one. We have some friends joining us for tea. There, he's airborne now. Throw it. Throw it. Oh, that's terrible, that.
I blame these sticky gloves. That was a big wave. Came across there.
20 to 2 now, and Paul's putting on the lunch as we're just coming up to almost halfway across the Isle of Man now. Still doing 6 knots, 18 knots of wind, still fully reefed. Sea state is calming slightly. We get the odd wave now and again, which is big, like that one, and but apart from that, not too bad. The sun unfortunately is not coming out. That was promised about 1 o'clock. We haven't seen it yet, so yep, all's well so far.
Now,
Here's our friend, that's our little friend. He's been joining us all the way across after the food, and look at the rain up there. That's not good. Black areas up there. But fortunately we're going into this, which is quite nice. I was worried there was some rain before. We're still doing 6 knots. We've got about 14, Paul reckoned about 14 miles to go.
Yeah.
And at this rate we should be there in 2-3 hours. And it's now 2 o'clock.
Wondering what the shit am I doing here?
It's like, yeah, fucking I'm gonna go all the way back to Belfast now.
Oh, we lost the baby. He was coming then to get inside. That's what he did last time. He went right round the front and just glided back through it all.
No. So the one at 5 this morning, same one, just twice a day.
Yes, but he updates it.
Shore water forecast up to 12 miles offshore. The ship on the map offer for 05.
Actually, but yeah. Yeah, it's a young one then.
Lucky's apprentice.
Actually, but yeah. Yeah, it's a young one then.
Lucky's apprentice.
Garfell.
3:30, and we're 7 miles from the Isle of Man. Got 18 knots of wind, and we're still doing 5.5 through the water. We've taken a few reefs out, and the sea state is still lumpy, but it's okay. It's okay. And enough. The wind's cooled down. As I say, it's now 18 knots of wind, and it's gusting maybe 20 tops.
Yeah, definitely fell walking.
There's the Garfell man over there. We'll be doing that tomorrow, hopefully. And there's the rest of the Isle of Man, right up there.
No, look what's up there, look right, shark or something.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Oh, it's a basking shark.
Big fin.
Yeah, it's a basking shark. Just about see the tip of its fin
one of them.
in the corner there.
Grabbed hold of its fin.
Yeah. Down a little black speck.
Grabbed hold of its fin
and
then just surfed with it.
Yeah, big basking shark. I'm seeing the basking shark. You couldn't get better views than this. The rock formation and colours in the rock were just exceptional. The twists and turns and curls and everything. Beautiful entrance to Port Erin, and lovely Anchorage also, we thought. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Well, they're the biggest sharks, aren't they?
What?
They're the biggest sharks.
They are the biggest shark. Well, no, the biggest shark.
The grey white.
They're bigger than the great white. The biggest sharks.
That's what I say.
Water,
Yeah.
but they're not the biggest in the
All
other.
right.
There's whale sharks and the biggest sharks.
Yeah. Look at the folds on that. Arrived in Port Erin. Great Anchorage here, superb, easy to pick up mooring buoys, and a really calm entrance and location. Fun adventure. Also, we thought, except for westerlies, strong westerlies. Well, we were all right because it was northwesterly. Or so we thought. Well, windy let us down this time. This should be now a force 4 with hardly any swell. and we were up early in the morning removing the anchor from the front because the rope was smashing the anchor backwards and forwards. It was horrendous. We had easy 17-18 knots at night and a westerly, which is the worst thing you can have because this, you can see, is wide open. If it had been a northerly, we would have been in that shelter over there. If it had been a southerly, we would have been in the shelter here. But instead of that, it was a westerly, which wasn't predicted, and right down there, and we had full waves battering us all night. So we've had a really comfortable night. Not. Cormoran, come to say hello. The idea is we leave now to get underway now and get around the car for 9 o'clock, and then hopefully all should be well. The wind's easing slightly, not a lot, and the sea stays easing slightly, but we should have 1.5 knots with us going through the sound, so it should be okay. Motion as a port Erin. We learned a lot from here today. Do not anchor in Port Erin with any slightest hint of a westerly. Approaching the famous Carford Man. No.
That must be the small bay.
Yeah,
it is, yeah.
that's the small one.
Definitely not going through there, mate.
No.
Fucking hell. Really confident.
It's only hitting the rocks, then.
Is that all?
There's someone else coming through. Approaching the Carford South now. Very lumpy weather. Wind's doing 17 knots. What's the time now?
It's just coming up to 9 o'clock.
Just coming up to 9. From a very lumpy sea state to the Calf, and then as we approached the Calf it started to calm down, and then as we got through, the change in the sea state was unbelievable, plus the weather, the wind calm, the sea state calm,
the eddies going your way over there.
Sail back. It's really calm out there. It isn't right out, but it's yeah. Denny's just navigated the Carford Sound in horrendous weather. The difference over this side is bloody incredible, isn't it?
Astounding.
Considering what we were putting up with back there, dear me. Once through the Carford Man, we were then headed to our last stop in the River Dee. Weather was improving by the hour, and hopefully we'd have a good sail right across. Obviously, this is the longest haul now, some 70 odd mile. Well, it turned out to be 80 odd. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Breakfast is good.
Yeah. Bacon in it for us.
Bacon, eggs and potatoes. Is that all for breakfast?
If you want
No,
it.
the potatoes were for lunch, weren't they?
Okay.
You can have them. Not going to stop you having
Bacon
a
and
brunch.
bread. Bacon
Bacon,
butty.
yeah.
Bacon butty. Yeah, eggs and potatoes for lunch, whatever that is.
Leaving the Isle of Man. Au revoir, Isle of Man. What time is it?
It's 9:45.
At 9:45. What's that time, people?
Coming up to 10:30. Want to get my forecast.
10:30?
Well, 25 past now. 10.
Yeah, 10:25 right now.
And the Isle of Man beginning to fail. Well, we're on the side. I was currently working on putting the Jenica up. It's got a snuffer on. We've never used this before, but we're just getting used to all of this. It's got a Jenica, and hopefully it's a Jenica with a snuffer. This turned out to be an asymmetric spinnaker, which is a bit complicated. Never fitted one of these before. We managed to get it up for
10 knots of wind, and we're going quite
all of
slowly
10
at the
minutes, but then it got wrapped round because we hadn't got it. We'd fitted temporarily, really. We didn't really sort it out so it'd work properly. But anyway, the wind got up and we decided to not to put it up again.
Like to do a few trial runs on the model first.
Yeah, 1 o'clock and all as well. Isle of Man still in vision. Mind you, it took us ages, didn't it, to get to our Isle of Man when we got to here. We kept on thinking, aren't you there yet? Aren't you there? And then all of a sudden you can see the wind farm and you're down the other end of the wind farm.
Were there yet?
You say, look at the Isle of Man, it hasn't changed in size.
Yeah.
You'd think we'd be going, what, 4 hours now?
Yeah.
3:45. Isle of Man, fading in the west. And Wales coming up in front. All looking good. Can't see the wind farm yet though. The sea stayed really smooth, doing 6.3 knots. That's the engine is only to charge the batteries. We had to go to the spinnaker before. Unfortunately, we didn't make it. But it's something we need to do a lot of rigging really and test it out first. But other than that, all went well. You happy?
Oh dear. She won't be wagging her tail when
No.
you come in.
7:15 now. Beautiful evening. Just had about 2 hours sleep, which is wanted.
The moon will be in its first quarter tonight, so we'll have some moonlight.
Beautiful snow down here in the distance. Don't know whether you can see that now. Of course we can't see the Isle of Man anymore, mainly because I'm pointing into the sun. But apart from that, there's our wind farm coming up. We need to go right down to the wind farm now. A few rainbows on the horizon. We thought we were going to get soaked by that cloud over there, but fortunately we've missed it. Well, so far. Never speak too soon, Roy. Yeah. Engines has gone on now at 8 o'clock as we come down.
I'm just going to go and flick the batteries onto both. That yet?
Yeah, right.
You get confirmation that the morning boy
Sun beginning to set now. Rain's coming out. Then he's wrapping up. And Gareth's busy eating. As the sun begins to fade, we get a lovely sunset over the horizon there as we start to enter into the wind farm. Then through the wind farm into our moorings. This is the longest section really. You can't really sail in this area and there's lots of traffic around through the wind farm. This is how we started. Oh, I thought that was the last. And this is how we finished. To successfully navigating through the darkness of the moorings and past Tilbury Island, we picked up the mooring buoy, anchored, well, that's it now. We're walking back, and then made our way back across the mud. What a way, eh? You step on and step off pontoons up in Scotland and Ireland, but here on the day we have the luxury of the best mud banks in the world. What a way to finish our journey. Thanks for watching, people. Hope you enjoyed it. Big thanks to Paul for allowing us to join him on the way back, and Gareth and Denny, who kept us both company and entertained.